We live in a world where people like to tear down Brock Purdy or discredit what he's able to do as a quarterback. And obviously, we've spent a lot of time on this channel trying to piece together the truth about Brock Purdy and the things that he is actually really, really freaking good at. And so we've talked about it a million times, but every single time, there's always someone who comes back with something else or a ranking that has him really, really low and in the beyond the top 15 quarterbacks, all those different types of things, right? So when you have guys like Alex Smith, obviously, who played in the 49ers organization, has gotten to know Brock Purdy personally and watch him up close and personal to see the things that he's like good at. He goes on to the Pat McAfee show and he says something that is pretty substantial in regards to what Brock is really good at, to the point where he says he might be the best in the league at it. Take a listen to what Alex Smith has to say right here.
You know, for Purdy, like I think he's got the most courage in the pocket than anybody in the NFL. I mean, this guy stands in there and take hits, and he is just like unflinching, right? Like his focus downfield never wavers. It's a gift of his. Obviously, he's accurate, but like I think that poise and courage, and like how do you quantify it? And we're so caught up in size and speed and arm strength and hand size and shit like that. And like again, none of that stuff I really think matters. This guy can play ball, and he's been playing ball at a high level for a long time, and yet again he falls to the last pick in the draft. Like how does that happen? So I think it's a fascinating discussion, man. And he's a baller, man. I don't know how you don't turn on the film the last couple of years and see what he's doing week in and week out. I know it's a good situation, but there's not a good quarterback in the NFL that's not in a good situation. So I'm a huge fan of Brock's, man. I think he's a huge reason why they're so good and going to continue to be good.
He makes some massive throws. I mean, he'll step in there. And to your point about there isn't a single good quarterback in the league or in the history of the league that didn't have a good situation, you know, kind of around him. That's a part of football. Yeah, you're going to need other people on the field.
I mean, I don't disagree with him at all. One of my favorite traits of Brock Purdy is his pocket presence. And when you talk about pocket presence, it's also a toughness. It's a ability to stand within the pocket, even when you like I've seen him get hit while throwing, because he can see that either a defender or the lineman is getting pushed into him, but it doesn't affect his process of trying to set his feet and throw, even if he knows he's going to get hit. And that is just something that you really can't quantify. You know, a lot of quarterbacks might shrivel up. They might just duck and not try to throw the ball. That's not Brock. He will stand in there and he will get rocked. You think of the Detroit Lions NFC Championship game, that one throw where the ball is in his hands and he has a defender wrapped into his chest, and he still somehow uncorks this ball to Deebo Samuel over the middle. It's day in, day out. His presence, we saw it right away against the Dolphins when he got thrown into the mix. There are so many examples of Brock Purdy's toughness within the pocket, just to be unflappable, unfazed. And again, it's an intangible quality. It's just like Alex Smith talks about. It's not a measurable quality. It's not height, weight, speed. It's a mentality. It's heart. It's having the internal fortitude to be able to understand that you're about to get absolutely mollywopped by someone who's 3 times your size, and still stand in there and deliver the throw that needs to be made. Some of his best throws in the NFL have come while he's about to get destroyed. And it's just a constant thing. And people who don't understand quarterback play, who maybe have a national platform, and they spend all this time trying to break down height, weight, speed, and arm strength, and this, that, and the other thing, and they really just don't understand football from the tangible level that it needs to be understood at. That there are human elements in play, and those are quantified as intangibles. And sometimes, especially at the quarterback position, that intangibles can be more important than the physical ability, because if you don't have the intangible qualities, you're a Paxton Lynch. You're a guy with a huge arm who could run, do everything physically, but you have no mental fortitude. You don't have the toughness. You don't have the things, the processing capability, all those other things. Yes, the perfect quarterback would have height, weight, speed, plus intangibles. That's the perfect quarterback, but those are rare. Very, very rare. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, those guys, they have the intangible quality of leadership, processing, toughness, and they also have the physical tools and traits that come along with it. Well, Brock Purdy is showing that he does have elite intangibles, and how that's where a lot of the success is coming from. And his arm is improving. His arm has gotten better. You can already see it. You can already see it on tape that the ball just comes out. It really does. Better, faster, with more zip behind it. He has more command over his throws. And so the thing with Brock Purdy, I love what Alex Smith had to say, because I think he's right. I think he might be probably the toughest quarterback in the NFL right now when it comes to just standing in the pocket and delivering quality throw after quality throw after quality throw. It's a quality that he has that should be respected and not tried to be dusted under the rug because he doesn't look like Josh Allen, or he doesn't look like Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or what have you. It's just, again, it's why, you have casuals out there. You have casuals in the national media. You have casuals who talk about football all the time on the internet who don't understand what it means to be a quality football player, and recognizing that it's not height, weight, speed. Always. It's always going to be a huge part of it. That's why we have the combine. That's why we do all those things. But there's so many instances of the guys who don't have that, or might not pass that eye test, who come out to be phenomenal players. Just look at the guy over my right shoulder, Joe Montana. He didn't have tons of crazy and, intangible or physical tools, but he won 4 Super Bowls. And so obviously it's going to be a debate till the end of time. Someone asked me on my live show the other day, when is the NFL going to give Brock Purdy credit? And the answer is never. He isn't going to get unanimous credit for his abilities until he wins multiple Super Bowls. And even at that point, he still might not get that credit, because they're always going to move the goalpost, right? Well, it's like, oh, he's got the weapons. Oh, he's got Kyle Shanahan, right? It's the same argument that was had for Tom Brady and for Bill Belichick. Tom Brady didn't become the unanimous go until he left Bill Belichick and went and won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Bucks. It's a very similar thing. I also referenced him and compared him to Steph Curry. Steph Curry wasn't known as a unanimous go, even not until recently, until he won that gold medal. And you had the entire United States rooting for him. Before, people they were against Curry because he's small, he's not LeBron, and whatever. But even after, you won championships with KD, it's not the same. It's, they move the goalpost, move the goalpost. And that will be the same with Brock. And that's why it's important to understand that that conversation, that narrative, that talk isn't going anywhere. So it doesn't matter if Brock wins a Super Bowl. If he won a Super Bowl against KC, they would still have something to say about him. Oh, well, the defense was playing lights out, blah, blah, blah. So don't try to get too worked up about what people have to say about Brock Purdy, because it will be there. And we'll continue to highlight it because we like to have fun with it. But again, understand where Brock Purdy is currently at, and you'll get it. He has elite intangible qualities. It's been something that we've been saying on this channel since the beginning. It was apparent to see that he has elite intangible qualities. Obviously, it's marrying those intangibles up with the physical and bringing it all together to make the complete package. And I think he's made tons of strides in doing that. And that's why maybe one day he will get that credit. But until now, we'll keep defending Brock. That's just the vibe. You know the vibes. What do you think about all that? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.